USC runs all over the vaunted Notre Dame defense to pick up their 11th win of the 2022 season. Will people finally wake up and realize the USC offensive line is elite? And did the USC defense silence the playoff committee's critiques? We'll talk about all of that and more on this week's Trojan Game Review. Hey guys, welcome into this week's game review. It's November 28th, which we know as Lincoln Riley Day. It's been a great year. The job he's done in 1 year is just remarkable. I can't believe how far we've come in that little amount of time, but here we are. So how about that game? I don't know about you guys, but all I heard all week is that we wouldn't be able to stop this Irish running game. I heard ND's defense was by far the best we've played, and I heard a lot of people in the national media say that we were just going to flat out lose. I guess that's why they play the games. We're 11-1, we ran for over 200 yards and only allowed 90. I'm absolutely thrilled. Now, was it perfect? No, of course not. But I'm so proud of the defensive front and the linebackers. Also, before we keep going, there are a few things I'd like to say about Notre Dame. Credit to Drew Pine, he played a fantastic game. I was really impressed by him. He was tough, he was hanging in the pocket and taking shots, he was throwing accurate balls downfield. He vastly outperformed my expectations of him in this game. I also really like Marcus Freeman. I think he's the right guy for the job. You guys have a great team, a classy team, and I'm glad that this is a rivalry again. Nothing but the best of luck to you all going forward. But getting back to SC, this is exactly the game that I wanted to see them play. I haven't seen a USC team play that hard and that physical since the 2016 Rose Bowl. The collie was rocking, the band sounded great. I don't know, man, this team is just different. I didn't doubt that we were going to win this game for 1 second. Earlier in the week, it really surprised me how many national people were just writing us off, saying we were going to lose, that we weren't physical enough, blah blah blah. Well, we are physical enough, and I feel like we've shown that throughout this entire year. We haven't been bullied by anybody. Our offensive line is awesome, guys. They played great. How about our defensive line? I told you the size of the Notre Dame offensive line last week. We took them on, we weren't afraid, and we took it to them. We literally did the exact thing that people said we couldn't do. Lincoln Riley talked about this in his post-game press conference. He commented on the outside criticism of the defense and the narrative that USC would get pushed around physically.
We played really well, all three sides of the ball. Defensively, honestly kind of got sick and tired of hearing how well we were just going to get pounded in the run game. That didn't happen. I'm really proud of the way we stopped the run, tackled, caused turnovers, made big plays, played really well defensively.
This USC defense heard that criticism and they clearly took it very personally. And a quick question for you guys. Is there a bigger clown in sports media than John Wilner? He's dropping his stupid and incorrect takes prior to the game, and then after we prove him wrong, he puts USC 5th in his AP poll behind Ohio State. The guy's an absolute clown. It makes me very happy seeing Lincoln let him hear about it afterwards. Now, speaking of the polls, with how things have shaken out around the country, I fully expect SC to be number 4 in the CFP rankings. They already moved up to 4 in the AP. So not only are we in striking range of the college football playoff, with one more win, we are locked in. Just crazy to think about how far we've come in 1 year. And how about number 13? It sure felt like he had a Heisman moment, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Alright, so before we get into the recap, if you are enjoying the videos, please like and subscribe. It really means a ton and helps out so much. Alright guys, now that that's taken care of, let's dive into it. Okay, so let's talk about this USC offense. How about this offensive line? They are Joe Moore finalists, which is given to the best O-line in the country, yet it still seems like they don't get respect nationally, and I just don't understand it. But hey, who cares what anyone else thinks? At the end of the day, I know what I've seen all year and in this game specifically. The run game was dominant. Austin Jones was phenomenal. Caleb was able to burn them on the ground over and over. As a team, we ran for 240 yards, which I don't think anyone had us going for in the lead up to this game. Like I talked about in the preview, Notre Dame's goal on defense was to take away the vertical passing game. And they honestly did a pretty good job of that, limiting Caleb to just 232 yards through the air. And when the deep stuff wasn't working, I thought we saw a lot of that underneath stuff be really effective. Another thing that was very clear is that Notre Dame expected to be able to come out and fully dominate on the defensive line. They really devoted the majority of their defensive resources to stopping the pass game, because they clearly thought they had the advantage in the trenches when they most certainly did not. We gashed the Irish front seven over and over and over again. It was really great to see. Austin Jones ran the ball so violently, he has stepped up in the absence of Travis Dye. There honestly has been zero drop-off. He was driving Notre Dame linebackers back on every single carry, it seemed. He showed great vision, he was catching the ball well out of the backfield, and honestly, he made a lot of plays out of nothing. I also want to talk about Late McCree. He has really grown so much this season. He was dominating in the run game. He has really become a great blocker. He was so physical. It was great to see him make that play on the first drive with the hurdle. He was PFF's number 2 tight end in the country this week, and it really showed. The tight end rotation has varied throughout the year. You've seen guys like Josh Follow and Malcolm Epps get a ton of run, but Lake seems to have emerged as the number 1 guy in that room, at least as of late. I'm curious if that's more of a matchup thing or if he has re-won that job and is the number 1 tight end going forward. Okay, let's talk about Caleb Williams. I think that was it, guys. I think Caleb is very close to wrapping up the Heisman. Barring an unforeseen collapse against Utah on Friday, I think it's his. And he more than deserves it. I mean, you break the total touchdowns in a season record at a place like SC, that really just speaks for itself. And I don't even think that was one of his best games. He was just doing crazy stuff. Running over 80 yards on a single play, making 6 defenders miss on a single play, jump passes, he really did it all. And not to mention, we got to see Caleb hit the Heisman post, so that was super fun. I thought Caleb and the offense overall did a fantastic job of converting third downs, going 8 of 12 on the night, and Marcus Freeman was very aggressive on third down defensively, bringing blitzes, mixing up the coverage, and Caleb more often than not just had the answers for the test. Simple as that. He is so special, so incredible, and it really looks like Heisman number 8 is coming to Los Angeles. I really feel like everybody contributed to the offensive success in this one. It was great to see Rayleigh Brown score a touchdown. It was great to see Brennan Rice make that huge catch on third down. Taj Washington made some huge plays, including that awesome touchdown. Lincoln Riley called an outstanding game. Just overall, great day from the offense. Caleb Williams is an absolute psychopath. Give that man the Heisman. All right, let's move over and talk about this Trojan defense. I am absolutely thrilled with this defense. They were told all week they had no chance to stop this Irish running game, and they came out and they pretty much shut them down. There were some big runs, but they held them to only 90 yards. The defensive line was getting great jumps off the ball. They were very solid in their run fits. They took on blockers and they weren't afraid of this offense at all. Also, I want to give a shout out to Alex Grinch. I thought he called a hell of a game. The Notre Dame offense was confused on multiple occasions. Now, Drew Pine did have a really good day against this USC pass defense, but honestly, I'm just going to credit Drew Pine and the ND playmakers on that one. He was making really tight window throws and the receivers were making contested catches. They gave up a couple easy ones, but for the most part, I thought their success was more about them than us. Stanley Ta'ufo'ou flashed for me, and I thought he looked great in run defense. I actually think he's been having a very strong and underrated season. Corey Foreman was agonizingly close to getting a sack in this one. Still, it's nice seeing him get into the backfield and cause some havoc, but you'd love to see him pull Pine down there. Tooley had a huge sack at the end of the first half, and I could swear that the ball came out. He knocked it loose, but Pine did an excellent job of securing the ball. He was so close to getting a strip sack there. And how about Tyrone Tellini? He continues to have outstanding performances. He got a little banged up in this one, but he did come back in. His production and really his overall emergence late in the season has been a huge asset for this USC front seven. So let's talk about Shane Lee. You just take one look at him and you can see that he was built for this kind of game. He was brought to USC for his physicality and his presence in the run game, and we saw it flash on the first drive of the game on that third down. It felt to me like that play was a huge tone setter for the rest of the game. Getting a 3 and out there and letting the offense make that into a 2-possession game early was huge. How great was it seeing Eric Gentry back out there? He led the team with 9 tackles and it really seemed like he was all over the field. This defense missed him in there a ton. I didn't notice him limping during the game at all. Having him at or close to 100% this week is going to be massively important. And speaking of Eric Gentry, he had a few thoughts on Caleb Williams and his Heisman campaign, so let's hear what he has to say.
Guys that have been here and
he's a Heisman!
All these guys.
Well, you're the man. Let's get 13 that trophy. But getting back to the defense, another game, another pick for Kalen Bullock. He's up to 5 on the year. Should have been 6. Thanks Pac-12 refs. And talk about a huge moment in this game. That really put the game away. Another thing I found interesting is that Drew Pine really only made one mistake throwing the ball all night, and when he made that mistake, we jumped it and picked it off. Like I've been saying all year, these turnovers are not fluky. It's what Alex Grinch preaches, and we see them do it every game, so why should we doubt that they're going to do it going forward? Now I want to talk about Bryson Shaw for a second. Now he's not the fastest, and he's not the biggest, and he's not always in the right spot on the field, but I think his communication is very evident, at least when you watch it on film. He's constantly talking, constantly making sure that his teammates are lined up in the right spot. And he made a play late in this game that didn't really matter in terms of the outcome of the game, but I thought it was emblematic of this USC team and the mentality they took going into this game. When Notre Dame scored that garbage time touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter, and they went for 2, Bryson Shaw is matched up one-on-one with Michael Mayer. Now, I don't need to tell you guys how big of a size mismatch that is. Now, when the ball is snapped, Mayer puts 2 hands on Bryson and tries to chuck him out of the way and just discard him. But Bryson kept fighting and he came back to break up that play. This team just overall was not going to be pushed around. They heard it all week, they were completely locked in, and I haven't seen them play like that in a very long time. After the game, safety Kalen Bullock discussed the defense's physicality and mentality.
How physical you guys played on defense tonight?
Very proud of the defense. We knew what type of game it was going to be. We knew they was going to try to come in here and thought they was going to out-physical us, but we wasn't going for that.
I mean, you could see it from the first drive on that USC was not going to back down from them. You could tell in that game that Notre Dame did not respect the physicality of USC, and that's fine with me, man. I hope more teams keep on doing that. Now, like I said earlier, this game was not perfect. Jacoby Covington had a really bad play on that touchdown he allowed. One thing our DBs tend to struggle with is getting their head around and locating the ball. We need to really tighten that up this week going up against Kincaid and Vele. I thought we did an okay job on Mayer. Seeing 5'9" Max Williams on Mayer, though, was a terrifying sight. He did his best, but that just isn't a fair matchup for him. So overall, Drew Pine had more success than you would like to see, but hey, in the run game, we kicked their ass. Now, I do want to talk about special teams, and for once, it's not for bad reasons. They were awesome. Now, whether it was Lincoln Riley or one of the other coaches, whoever's idea it was to have Caleb Pooch punt was a genius. The Notre Dame special teams block a punt every week, it seems like. That was an absolute brilliant move. Also, why is Caleb a better punter than Aiden Sleep-Dalton? He kinda has a booming leg. He was feeling himself after the game too. Here's Caleb and Lincoln talking about his punting prowess.
Will Caleb be getting more punts?
What's that?
Will Caleb be getting more punts?
Hopefully we don't have to punt anymore.
I had the longest punt of the season, though.
That was a good punt.
Caleb's gonna win the Heisman and the Ray Guy Award. So I was really thrilled with the special teams. They didn't return kicks, which is fantastic. They didn't do anything stupid. It was great to see. Now, just some final thoughts. This is a special group, guys. They are so united and so together. They play so hard. Not for themselves or for NIL deals. They do it for each other. Watch this interaction between Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams postgame. I think this really demonstrates how close this team is.
Yeah, I'm proud of the decisions that he's making, other than one tonight. But yeah, that one. Aubrey got sacked.
Oh, yeah.
30-yard loss. Yeah. We'll get to that tomorrow, I guess. Right?
I mean, it's crazy that 1 year ago today, we had just watched USC get whacked by BYU in an empty Coliseum. Look at where we are now. 11-1, 1 win away from securing a Pac-12 title and punching a ticket to the playoff, winning a Heisman Trophy. We've already brought the victory bell and the Jewel Shillelagh back to LA. One more win, guys, that's all we need. I mean, it really feels like the swag is back at SC. Celebrities are back on the sidelines, the energy around the program is awesome. It has that magic feeling that it had when I was a kid. I can't wait to see where this season takes us, but at the same time, I want to stay here and enjoy this ride for as long as possible. Alright guys, that'll do it for me in this game review. Thank you all so much for tuning in every week. It really means the world to me. I love the community we're building. My game preview for the Pac-12 title will be out on Thursday, so check that out if you're interested. But until then, guys, take care and fight on. Oh, and one last thing. Since it's the 1 year anniversary of hiring Lincoln Riley, I would just like to congratulate all the Oklahoma fans on a great year. 6-6 is really solid. Sure is a good thing you guys got rid of that soft coach. Your program's going in the right direction. So without further ado, Boomer.